Hey everybody, Fun Staying First Journey Coach Janice Whiting here. Today I have a card tutorial that I'm going to show you, and with Mother's Day coming up, I couldn't resist but to make a Mother's Day card. So let me go ahead and show you what I came up with today. So I've been really inspired by watercolor, and I've been seeing a lot of things at stores and things where they're combining watercolor and gold accents or gold something. And so that is my focus today. So I made this card, and you know what, I'm gonna have to do different angles because you're probably not gonna be able to see very well, but okay, so this is kind of like the basic layout. And then if I move it a bit, you can see that gold shine because I used our gold embossing powder on those beautiful flowers. I watercolored them, so you can see that watercolor technique there. And then I used our gold embossing powder for the Happy Mother's Day. So very fun, really sweet and pretty card. I used some of our fun sequined elements there, little journey twine, and I don't know if you can tell, but there is pan pastel in the background here. With this bright light, you might not be able to pick that up. But anyway, this is the card that I have created, Mother's Day card, and I'm excited to show you how I got that done. Now, before I do that, I do just want to remind you, if you have not gone and seen my executive manager status and a giveaway video, make sure you see that. I am going to give it, let's see, a few more days, okay? So if you haven't gone over there and commented and found and heard my big awesome news, then definitely go over there. And I don't know if, I don't think I have done another video since I did that. No, I have. Anyway, my point being is in that video, I talk about how I was super, super close to making it and earning my incentive trip, our company's incentive trip to Cancun, because I was super, super close, I said. And in the video, I was like, I just know I'm going to make it. I know I'm going to make it. So even though I'm not there yet, I'm celebrating. Well, the crazy thing is that night I got I think it was that night or that later on that day, I had 3 orders that were placed, and that tipped me over. So I am officially going to Cancun with Fun Staying First Journey when the time comes. I have earned it. So yay! Very, very excited. I can officially say that I am going. Now, those are my numbers, and I know I've made it, and I really can't believe it. Even though officially the way that our company runs their promotions and things is they have to calculate it on their end, and then it becomes official around May 10th or so. So the 10th of the month is when they run their reports. But anyway, the numbers don't lie. So I'm celebrating here. Thank you so much, everyone who's placed an order in the month of April and this past year, because I've been working on it since July, I guess it was. So anyway, thank you. You guys are wonderful, awesome, and because of that, I am doing that giveaway. So make sure you go and check out that video that has my executive manager status and giveaway as the title. Okay. All right. I'm going to turn the camera angle around, and then I'll show you how to create this beautiful card. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get started here. Here is our beautiful card, and of course you guys know I have a skylight up above me, and so you can see that beautiful sun shining on that gold embossing. So pretty. Okay, so to begin with, you are going to need a piece of our oatmeal cookie for the base. So oatmeal cookie cardstock, regular card base. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Let's see, there it goes. It is regular A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I did a regular fold this time. From there, you'll need a piece of our whipped cream cardstock, and the cut here is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So this will be what you kind of mount everything on. And to get started with that, because this is kind of like our first step, we want to get the base ready to roll. You are going to grab a corner rounder Now we don't have a corner rounder yet. Richard, we need a corner rounder. So I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile Corner Chomper. And I like this tool because it has a 1/2 inch size corner chopper or rounder and a 1/4 inch. So I use the 1/2 inch side, and it is super easy to use this little tool. I got it, I think, from Michael's. You can probably find it online as well. But basically you stick the corner in, and we are going to round the right hand side, bottom, and the top left corner. Okay, so right, bottom, and top left, and it gives you that fun rounded look. Let me see if I can zoom out. Just there we go. You can see a little bit better. And then you're going to do the same thing with the white, the whipped cream panel. So again, with the 1/2 inch, and then the top left. So then it matches. You can marry those two together. So now your frame, your base card is ready to roll. All right, now from there, and I don't know if you can really pick this up on, I think you can. You can kind of see there's kind of like a light blue, kind of sky blue background here. What I used was our Confectionery Days Pan Pastel in this beautiful color, and I'm trying to remember here. It is the phthalo green tint. Okay, there we go. So this little guy is a part of our Confectionery Days Pan Pastel set, which is so much fun to play with, guys. And if you have not ordered yourself one of these yet, I highly recommend it. I know you're thinking, oh, but they're so pricey, but really it's a great investment because they will last you forever. Really forever, because they are a highly concentrated pigment, and they're just very different from your regular chalks that require lots and lots and lots. This does not require lots of product because it's already so concentrated. Now this little sponge, when you buy one of our Pan Pastel sets, it comes with a large sponge, a small sponge, I say small, a couple of finger sponges, and then an actual tool that you can get into little detailed areas with. We also sell a separate tool set that you can buy if you want extra even more, sponges. So anyway, so you're going to use basically the bottom, the left diagonal part of your whipped cream panel, and you're going to just grab just a bit on your sponge. I recommend turning it because you're going to hold on to it here, and then you're just going to sponge in a circular motion all along that side. And again, at a diagonal. I was trying to just mimic a little bit of a sky, but I wasn't trying to be, too precise or anything. I didn't want a straight line coming down because I did want it just to be very organic, very natural. And the one thing you need to just make sure when you're working with our pan pastels is don't touch it with your fingers, because your fingers are naturally oily and it's going to pick up that, and you will actually literally see a fingerprint. Although the really neat thing is that if you do have that happen, it is easy to fix because you can take an eraser and erase it away and then re-sponge it. Now, I think you can see that I've gotten a good bit there. Nice, good. So I'm going to put this off to the side. And let's see here. We've got our background set. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and, even though I know sometimes we add our twine last, I'm going to go ahead and add the twine now, just so that I have my base just ready to go. So for this, I didn't necessarily measure an exact amount. I just went around this twice. So that would be 1, 2, and then left enough to create a bow. And again, this is our natural twine. And then I squished it down to about an inch, half an inch or so down from the bottom, and went ahead and tied that bow. Nothing fancy. I felt like it needed something down there, and the twine goes well with this particular design and with the oatmeal cookie. So do your bow, fluff up those loops, have it ready to go, and then we are really just going to set this off to the side, because at this point we have our kind of like our panel ready to go. We have our card base, and now we're going to bring in the hero, which is these beautiful flowers. So the stamp set that we're using to create those beautiful flowers is called Wonderful Day. And I know I've done some cards before with Wonderful Day, but I'm not quite sure if I've really focused on it. And so look at these beautiful images, so pretty. Of course, the sentiments: have a wonderful day, love you, love that puppy, beautiful, beautiful. You fill my days with joy, get well soon. So they're just gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I think you will love this stamp set. And from here, so because we are doing a little bit of a watercolor technique, you can use our regular cardstock, but I recommend grabbing some of our color splash sheets. They're actually quite handy because they come in this A2 size, so perfect for your card making. And I already grabbed some and created the majority of my flowers, but I wanted to go ahead and take you through the process that I did to create these. So to begin with, so again, grab your paper. I like to rub it down with some anti-static because we are going to be using our, zoom in here, we're going to be using our clear embossing powder and our gold, I say clear pigment ink and our gold embossing powder. So we're going to go ahead and grab our stamp. So we're using this beautiful image, and technically on this card I used each of those flower images. So I used one of each of these. So you would go ahead and stamp each one of those flower images. I've already, like I said, I've already done the majority. I hadn't gotten done this main large image, so I want to go ahead and show you just one. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab that clear pigment ink. You're going to ink up your flower real well. And you know that you've got it nice and well inked up because it has that kind of shimmer shine you can see there. And then you're just going to press down firmly. And it is hard to see that, you know, if you've got your ink on there or not. I know when I first was using clear pigment ink, I was like, is it on there? But if you look real well, and I don't think this is not showing up here, but I can see to, you know, the naked eye, it is technically there. And so don't think, oh no, nothing showed up. It's there, and especially, you will notice, especially when you add your powder to it. So go ahead and bring your media tray over, your embossed image, and then we are using our Journey Golds embossing powder. Okay, and we also have this in white. I say white, I think it's clear. Yeah, white, clear, and silver. So just kind of tap it over, and you see there, it was definitely there, and it picked up so beautifully. So put any of your excess out onto your media tray. You know me, I like to save all of my excess, and so you can just tap that very conveniently back into your jar. This stuff, even though it's a very small jar, it will last you a really long time. All right, so get that back in there. Then you're going to bring out your heat gun, okay? So the heat gun is really like a little mini hair dryer. I know I've shown you guys this before, but just in case there's your newbie out there, you've got your flour with your powder on it, and basically you're going to take your heat gun. So we've got, it's like a little mini dryer, but it's much more powerful than a mini dryer, than a regular dryer, I should say. So definitely be careful. Don't put your fingers up to it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And you just hold it up to the image until you start to see it turn. And what I mean by turn is that right now it's a very dull gold, and here in a few seconds you're going to see it turn to an actual shiny, shimmered, kind of like a glossy gold. There it goes on the right hand side, and you'll see a lot more turning I don't know if you can see that with the light. There it goes. Beautiful. All right, and that's it. So once you've seen it turn to that shiny, beautiful, glossy gold, so fun, then you're done. You're done. Now, you would do this for each of those images. Again, like I said, I've already pre-done the other ones, so I've got those ready. I only need this last one. And so now, and of course, guys, I'm fighting the sun again. I keep moving my camera forward, and then the sun keeps kind of coming after me. Anyway, so at this point, you're going to go ahead and bring out your watercolor pencils, which is what I use. So it's kind of like a watercolor technique. And we have our Color Splash watercolor pencils. Again, yes, they are a good investment. I say good. They are a good investment. They're a big investment because they are pricey. But again, guys, they are high quality watercolor pencils. They are, what I was about to say, they coordinate with our Fun Stampers Journey colors, which is wonderful. And they're really easy to use. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring out lots of my reds and oranges. So 1, 2, 3, 13, and 4. Okay, so these are just a few. Now, I may not end up using all of these. Sometimes I'll use 3 or 4. It just really depends because there is no precise look that you're going for. It's watercolor, so you want it to just be kind of kind of dimensional. So let me bring this out again so you can kind of see the colors aren't, it's not a solid, it's kind of some areas are dark, some areas are light, and I'll show you how I achieved that look. So you're also going to need your small blending brush, okay? We have those in small, medium, and large, but for this particular area, we'll use our small one. You'll need a little bit of water and an acetate sheet. So I've got this here, basically just a piece of plastic that you can put your color in and your water in. So I'm going to go ahead and put some water there and grab one of these colors. Let's see, we're going to grab number 1 first. And I am just going to create, as if I'm left-handed, I'm going to create a little puddle of this. And I want it to be actually fairly concentrated because, guys, these, they dry. And when they dry, they are not quite as vibrant. So you want to, so they do lose a little bit of color. Now, because you're going to be cutting this flower out, you don't have to be precise. And if you'll notice, I am literally just tapping color all over. I'm doing that on purpose. So I'm not necessarily painting, although you totally can. And like I said, I want more of a vibrant color, not a very light color. So I'm using less water and more pigment, more of my watercolor pencil. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of the orange. This is my number 13 pencil. Grab a little bit of water and pull out some of that color. Make a little puddle of orange. Again, highly concentrated, so not too much water. Literally just a little spray, and then come in and fill in some of those empty areas. If you want to paint a little bit, you can. Totally up to you. And then maybe I'll grab my number, let's go with number 2. This is my number 2 pencil, right there. And again, grab a little bit of water, get some of that, create a color puddle. See that? And then come in and maybe grab, and maybe at this point I might paint a little bit in here. And again, forgive that light, it just wants to keep coming over. So let me move my camera back up. Forgive me for just 2 seconds. It's going to be a little shifty here. There we go. All right, that's a little bit better. And let me zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. Okay, so what we've got here, let's see if it'll pick up. There we go, right there. You can see that a little bit better without the shine. It's just, you just kind of, again, you're going for a multi kind of dimension, different shades, different colors. Again, just a fun watercolor look. It is okay if you get out because you're going to trim all of this, and I am actually ready to trim it up. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Detail Pro shears, and these are perfect for this type of a job because let me go ahead and zoom just out a little bit. They're perfect for this job because they're little. And this particular flower has lots of little ins and outs and juts around its petals. And I know some of you guys hate fussy cutting, but here's my deal. I know you hate it, and so don't do it a lot. Every now and then you can bust it out because the efforts that you put in to fussy cutting are so worth the rewards because this flower is so pretty. And I don't believe it has a die that goes with it. So if you want it cut out just by itself, then you're stuck fussy cutting. I personally enjoy it. I know I'm one of those weird people. That likes cutting. I find it a little bit therapeutic, and I know that's probably the opposite of what others find it to be. But okay, so we're almost done here. And you know what? If you really don't like fussy cutting, then you can, instead of going in and out, you can kind of give a wider berth. I actually like to go into each little section and kind of not give much of a border. But anyway, okay, here he is. Oh, isn't that so pretty? So pretty. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom out just a little bit because I want you to see kind of the bigger picture. And I am botting the sun, so forgive me if you see that kind of sun down there, but it's just kind of part of my workspace. Okay, so here's another little guy. Did him as well, or her, haha. And so the same thing with the green, and you might be wondering which greens I used. Out of our watercolor pencils, I used 18 and 21. Same technique, just kind of, you know, didn't necessarily paint any particular way. There she is. And then one last little one. So again, one of each image. You want to emboss in gold and then watercolor and then just kind of trim around it. Now there is one more thing that you're going to need, which is the Happy Mother's Day sentiment, the little banner there. And that came from our annual celebrations stamp set, which is right here. And it has so many fun and wonderful greetings, all holiday, greetings. So it's a really great set if you are looking for kind of like the perfect catch-all for holidays. And of course it has this. Now you'll notice this has Celebrate Mom, Happy Mother's Day. So you could have used the whole thing. I just wanted that little banner. And so same step as with the others. Grab a little piece of whipped cream. And I think I've got a little extra. Sorry, guys. Here. And ink up. I'll move these guys out of the way a little bit. Take your clear pigment ink again. This time you only need to ink up just that bottom banner part. You don't have to ink up all, the entire stamped image. So just right there, really. And I know I got a little bit of the mom, but that's okay because we can trim it off. And press that down onto part of your paper. You probably cannot tell it's there, but it's there. Then go ahead and bring out your media tray again. Go ahead and go through that same process of getting some of the golds, going right over, putting it back. And then, so you see it's picked it up there. And now you're ready for your heat gun again. We're going to go ahead and heat this and get it ready. And luckily, this process does not take too long. Now, once you get it all the way embossed, then you're going to get out those detailed shears again. Oh, there it goes. So pretty. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, we got it. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Okay, so here he is. It's so fun. Okay, so bring out those detailed shears again. This time it's so much easier. It's just a straight shot. Sometimes I like to kind of cut him out of wherever he's at and then come back around and do all the details. I don't know, it's easier for me. So go ahead and cut him out on both sides, follow along the line. The only thing you're gonna do here is that instead of keeping the little peak here, you're gonna actually trim him. We are gonna keep the little points on this end, just trim those, and then you've got it ready. So happy Mother's Day, gold, beautiful. Okay, so now you're ready for assembly. So we've got our card base. Let's bring that back over. Goodness gracious, guys. I told you it's following me. It doesn't like me. So I'm going to have to create some space up here. Okay, here we go. And then move you guy up a little bit more. Okay, sorry guys. The sun is just wanting to play with me today. Forgive me for all of that moving and shifting. So I'm going to go quick. Okay, so we've got our card base. We have the pan pastel. We've tied the little natural twine bow. I'm going to see if I can shift him over a little bit more over to the end here. Just a little. I kind of want him off to the side a little bit more. There we go. Okay, and then I want him down just a wee bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our largest bloom that we created. It's the one we just created and we just cut out, which is this guy right here. And we are going to use some of our large, I say large, I think they're called medium, foam squares. We're going to put one foam square. We're going to let him go right here in the center. I say the center, it's kind of like the corner. And let's see here. I think I put him just like this, right there on that corner. And he's the only one that I used that I popped up. All the other ones, even though, I'm going to bring this out, even though they look like they might be popped up, they're not. I've actually just used the craft glue. And so the craft glue is wonderful because it allows for a little bit of shifting, you know, if you don't have it quite where you want it. So we're going to get our larger, I say larger, our tall bloom. I'm going to put a little bit here on his little back. I think I may be out of my craft glue. I'm going to have to bring another one out. Got a little bit in there still. Put a little bit on the top, put a little bit on the stem and on the leaves. And this little guy just kind of comes up and over. I wanted his little leaves to show just up above. That's kind of how you know you've got the right placement. So his little leaves are showing from here. Then your second largest bloom, I guess, or third maybe, this little guy, he also uses craft glue. And I just put just a little bit there in the center. And then he is going to go right here underneath the main image, just a little bit there, okay? And then you've got these two beautiful little blooms. They've got their stems, and they are going to go one here and one off to the side. So let's go ahead and get him ready. And these guys, I just put a little bit on the leaf and stem and not on the flower head because I did like it, I don't know, just a little bit raised, even though it's not really. But since it's on that watercolor paper, it kind of lifts just a little bit. So it's kind of, I like that effect. And then, so I'm using it to my advantage. Sometimes we want it to lay flat and sometimes I want it to rise up. So it's kind of perfect for this particular technique. And then this little guy will come here, press him down. And you can, you know, because you're using the wet glue or liquid adhesive, you can kind of move it around and have it just kind of, you know, play with your positioning a little bit. That is the benefit to the liquid glue. All right, so I think I have it. Oh, isn't that beautiful, guys? So pretty. Okay, now from there, we're going to take our Bloom Time Journey sequins. They're so fun. And I'm going to grab a few of these, and we're just going to have to go with this sun here because he is going and he's moving. So I've got to move too. All right, so I'm going to get some of these out here, and we are going to use some of these beautiful larger blooms and medium blooms that are kind of this kind of light green iridescent color. And I'm going to zoom in so y'all can see that variety there. I don't even know how I ended up there, but anyway, so we're going to use one of the kind of more opaque ones. Let's see if I can move this guy over so we can see where he's going to go. Let's move up a little bit. There. So one is actually going to go, one of the more opaque ones is going to go right here, just right above the bow. Right in there. And then one of the clear, I say clear, they're kind of like iridescent-y. That's a word, right? And he's going to go in between one of the large blooms. And let me zoom back out just a little bit more. Here we go. I know that sun is there fighting it. And then a medium, one of our medium ones, but still green. And I think I had chosen one of the medium iridescent ones like this, and he's going to go right to the right of that kind of tall bloom. And then let's see, we have some of the smaller ones. We have one small one up here. We can grab another small one and put him right there. And then there's one more, and actually I chose specifically, I wanted the small iridescent ones. So the good thing about these is that there is such a large selection of these blooms, guys. There you have thousands to choose from. So one of these guys goes here, and then I chose one more iridescent one, and it kind of went down in there. So let's see if we can see that. All right. Okay, I think the sun is actually gone back where it needs to go. So let's go ahead and move this a little bit more here. And now we can zoom in a little bit. I do apologize, guys, for all of that moving around. Okay, so we've got our beautiful little sequins kind of where we want them. And now that the sun's gone, you can actually see the card better. Yay! Again, you're going to use our craft glue to glue these little guys down. And I just like to, because I like to know exactly, I say like to know, whenever I lay things down, sometimes I just forget where I put them. So I like to just lift them up right and not move them too far from where I placed them. And then just kind of like quickly put the glue down underneath them. That way I know I have them exactly where I originally wanted them to go. So just a little bit. Now remember, the glue does dry clear. So if you put a little too much, you're a little heavy-handed, no big deal. It'll dry clear and you won't even notice it. And I'm just doing that to each little guy. And then this one here. There we go. All right, clean that up a little bit. Okay, so again, remember that's going to dry clear, so you're not going to have to worry too much about any of that showing if you got some to come over the edge a little bit. Okay, now the very, you know me, I like to say the very last thing. It's really not the very last thing, but the last thing on the panel is to go ahead and adhere your Happy Mother's Day little banner. And I am going to use some of our small foam squares, and I'm going to use 3 because it's a little longer than, it's long and skinny, and I don't want it to dip down in the middle. You can use however many you want. And he is going to go about an inch or so, 3/4 of an inch or so down from the top. Lay him down like that. Oh, so pretty. Isn't that so pretty, guys? Oh, I can't stand it. Okay, so from there, the very last thing you're going to do is to go ahead and adhere it onto your oatmeal cookie panel. Okay, and so I just turn that over, put some of our larger foam squares, one on each corner, here, here, and here. Take the backing off and then center it onto that oatmeal cookie card base that you've already created at the front, at the beginning of the video. Okay, go ahead and move him over, and there you go. Card done. All right, there you have it. And I do apologize for all of that shifting and the poor light, or shall I say too much light. But hopefully that last little bit you were able to see better, and you were able to catch the technique that I used with the watercolor and the gold embossing powder. So once again, here it is. So fun, so pretty, loving the gold embossing with the watercolor technique. Just has such a really pretty feel to it. And of course, a little Happy Mother's Day, the pan pastel background, our journey sequins that just add a fun element to it. See if you can see the watercolor coloring. Again, we were going for kind of multi-dimensional there with the different shades. And then my original card, same, but a little bit, my coloring I think on this one was maybe a little lighter, but not too much. Same card. So here's what I love about this. I've got two mamas. Now I've got two Mama's Day cards. Oh yes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Once again, we highlighted our wonderful day stamp sets and our annual celebrations, which had this super cute sentiment for Happy Mother's Day, Celebrate Mom. You could use the Celebrate Mom part as well if you wanted to. Our gold embossing powder, and of course our pan pastel, which, guys, this is one of the like must-haves. And we have four or five different, 4 big palettes that go along with our different color collections. And of course we have a gold to silver and a colorless blender. $49.95, I believe. Info is on the screen. They are worth it, I promise. And it's the pan pastel is just one of those coloring mediums that it's like in the background, but it gives it the look. Like you wouldn't necessarily know. I mean, you would know that it's there, but it's one of those things where if you didn't have it, you would know it's missing. That's what I'm trying to say. It just is a great, fun, beautiful, natural effect to the card. And they're so easy to use. So don't be scared. They're so easy to use. And they're so forgiving because they're erasable. You make a mistake, erase and come back over. So quite nice. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Go to my website, www.funstampersjourney.com/Janice Whiting if you want to purchase any of the items that I've used on this card. I'm thinking about doing another Mother's Day card idea or so in the next day or two, so stay tuned. Thanks so much again, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.